Hello. Bit dark in here today. Living storm barra. Would you believe it? I'm not in there, I'll start a bit early, but I've got this lovely little snow scene to do. So if you're online, you can watch it. If not, you can catch up when it's saved to the website. Okay. But a few people left me this time, and I'm just going to see how we go on in future. Some people come back as well though, so that's good because it's winter again. But welcome if you've come back. Very simple image today. Naturally, we're going to sketch it out with a pencil and using a limited palette. We've got burnt sienna, we've got alizarin crimson, we've got cerulean blue, and we've got ultramarine blue, and that's it. And we've got some salt. Nice, simple kind of snow scene. Okay, so it shouldn't take as long this actually. Just an introduction to painting snow for your Christmas card. Okay, you've still got time to do it. So without further ado, I'm going to sketch it out. I've got an hearing aid plug-in so I can talk a bit louder. Apparently it works. So we're going to sketch the image out. We've got lots going on in the top right hand corner. If you look at the left hand side, it's quite warm, especially where the tree is and that hedge. Which is quite nice. And then you've got this lovely white and sienna-y snow, because it's not just white snow, it's kind of sienna as well. They've got warmth in the which is in the road. And then we've got these darker shapes over here with lots of salt and create lovely textures actually over there. Get my salt ready, and then we can start to paint. Okay, won't take long today, like I said. We've got a few jobs to do as well, so I hope it won't take too long. Started a bit later because I've got a class in the morning, so we finish at 12, so it gives me a bit more time to get to have my dinner and get back. Okay. But it's the trouble is I didn't bank on it going so dark actually, but the storm's not helping. Okay, so I'm going to look at where the road is kind of disappearing, which is about kind of above halfway in your picture. So it's got, that's the halfway point. You need to be about here somewhere. Okay, that's going to be where this lovely road is going to finish. And if we've got a centre line there, which is that, this is the hedge. So we've got the road and then the hedge, you see, which comes down to about here. And then that's kind of curving away, and that's going to curve right in front of me to that, and there. So I'm just putting this this kind of tyre track in, because it's going wider. So you might be a little bit difficult to see. We've got some nice shadows on this as well. And then as it goes round the corner, it's coming right round here like that. And then we're going this way. So it goes quite narrow there between those spaces, if you look. Okay, so that's the track on the other side. And we've got this lovely snow. I'm going to use a bit of wax as well, just to give us some highlights on the snow. There's some trees in the background. We put some trunks in. We've got a lovely tree here which is bending a little bit, and there you've got things coming off it. Yeah, so do branches kind of zigzaggy, don't have them too curvy and bendy. We got all this shape is going to be the actual background, which when we get to here is quite light over there. You've got some of this light in front, and this is when we start to get to this fence, because here we've got the first kind of, well, proper fence post that's right in front. It's actually casting a shadow like that. So we've got a bit of a shadow there. I think it's from the fence post anyway. So this is quite dark. Alright, and then we've got this lovely curve again that comes right off into the corner. Like that. So this is the thickness of the road. Yeah? This is the thickness of the tyres. Not a lot we can paint here, just the shape of the hedge, like this, and then we've got this tree trunk just coming out like that. Keep it nice and wide, and then we've got some trees, some things coming from the hedge. We've got another tree trunk here. So what we can see, I might draw it in pencil, I might do it in pen as well so you can see it. And then we've got the width of this snow that's going to go back into this hedge around here. So I'm just kind of getting a bearing on where things are and the highlights. Okay, so we draw some of these posts or fence posts leaning because they're, you know, they're all kind of angles. And we get one that's wider and straighter, one bigger there because it's going towards you now, so they're kind of nearer. Got a bit of one there as well. I'm going to put that a little bit nearer to you. There's a couple of posts here, and then they kind of disappear. So this is quite dark around these posts, so we can keep that lovely darkness. I'll use a pen because you probably can't see that. Not very well anyway. We've got this lovely, like I said, the hedge on the left hand side, which goes into the road and tyre track. Keep it broken up, you know, don't have it too much of a line. And then we've got the trunk, which again goes slightly thinner, thicker as it comes down, sorry. Same here, got that trunk as well. That's the tree behind it. Snow, alizarin side of this road, kind of alizarin and burnt sienna as we're coming down, and then we're going into the snow, this foreground area, and we can just draw a little bit of a kind of shadow there, like that. We've got shadows across the road that actually step up, step down, yeah, because they're coming in from this side, see, and then they go upwards. So here we've got the mounds of that lovely burnt sienna, not burnt sienna, cerulean blue, and that goes round that way. So you're getting that lovely shape here of the snow, blue, cerulean, snow. Fence post, a bit of wax on top, probably. Thin posts, yeah. And then a bit thicker. Like that. The tree, again, that lovely angle, like that. Keep it simple sketch really. This is the shadowy bit, that's this bit. We've got some nice big bush there, that's a big tree here in the background, and some more very thin branches and little trees, and then this blue shape. So here it's quite dark, like that, and this is coming round from the corner, like that. So just very simple kind of sketch that's going into the blues on this area. Yeah. So some of these shadows are coming across, like I said. Some are coming up, and then across, and then going down. Some of this coming out from the side, and that's quite very thin in the distance. Nothing, nothing too strong there. Needs to be quite light. That's the dark trunk. You've got some, just a little bit you can see. And then here we've got some bit sienna. Yeah. Something like that. Nothing too fussy, as we say. We've got a nice shadowy bit there, which is the blue. I'm going to go about some of this pencil because I do want to have white, pure white for the snow, because we're not using, we could use gesso, not gesso, we could use gouache there, but we're not doing it. I want to use the white of the paper, a bit stronger, okay. On the tops of these posts as well, got some pure whites. Anything that you can see now in the picture, pure white. Usually on the edges where the tyre tracks have been, and then along the other side where the snow's catching it, so it's like there, okay, and then these tracks, bits coming down from the hedge on the left hand side, and there's some lovely white here as well. So I've got some wax, I'll start here actually, and put this in, which comes round here and disappears, and then I've got on top, there's a bit just there, and this side, like I said, just a little bit here on this left hand side. This we can have a few just on the mounds, and some on top of the posts there, little bits like that, some in the woods, where you're getting these lovely grasses in front covered in snow. We've got little very thin marks, okay. We've got some in the trees as well. We've got some trees here with some snowing, so we can just use some wax for that. The side of this hedge, I've got to have a bit there, that's going around the corner. This is quite shadowy, okay, and this comes quite down here. I've got some snow on the inside of that tree trunk and the outside. Again, we've got some bits over there. And then when we get over this side, it's like, that's quite strong light area, and you've got two sorts of light areas like that, so we can have just kind of draw around the shape, not actually scrub. I don't want to scrub things like that. And I think I've got these in. Okay, that's about it. I forgot where I put the wax now, but it will come out as I start to paint, so we can see how we can bring these lovely lights out in the background first. So the first colours we're going to use are red sienna. Get your salt ready for the snow. Pick out some sienna, add lots of water with it. The thing is about snow, you want a very, very subtle changes in tone. So we got sienna and alizarin. We can put salt into that to stop it running. Alright. And then we've got alizarin and blue at the background as well. So we've got this lovely blue wash. But while it's damp, I'm going to paint the tree into it and put salt in. Things like that. So this plan of action. The posts and the trees are the darkest part, so they'll go in last. But this lovely kind of cerulean blue wash is going to go in over a lot of the picture actually. Cerulean blue, that lovely warm blue, yeah, not a lot of water with it. We've got ultramarine, so we put quite a bit of that out because we can mix that with the cerulean. And we've got alizarin, again, quite a bit of that. No yellow, we don't want any yellow in this snow, don't we? So if I get just a bit of burnt sienna on my big brush, the biggest brush I've got, and I can actually see some little bits of it in the foreground and here. So I've got this really nice shapes of sienna, higgledy-piggledy, yeah, like that, coming all around that edge because it goes slightly warmer there as well. And then here we do quite a bit of spattering. There's some in the ditch on the side of the road there, so we can put some in there. This is quite dark, and then we use a bit of alizarin with that to just drop it in. You can have a spatter it like that and let that blend a little bit so it gives you some textures. Okay, we've got the same kind of thing happening on that other side, but I'm going to use a smaller brush because here we've got all this kind of really nice alizarin and burnt sienna colour. Keep some of the gaps in it. Okay, have a few. This is where I want to be quite quick because I need to add some of this salt as it's coming down like that. Use the paper as well. Use the shape in the paper. Can you see? By adding dark blue as well, you get these lovely shapes inside the textures of the snow and the hedge, which is like that. Okay. You can throw the salt on in stages if you want. I can put it on now. So I'm just looking mainly light areas, warm areas, yeah. Bit of splattering with blue as well. Keeps that lovely cool. We'll let the colours kind of blend on their own. So we get this lovely running kind of shape. Okay. And then down the hedge, just here on the left hand side, a bit of alizarin, a bit of sienna again on that little dark area. That's all I'm doing. Put some in the background. Doesn't matter about splattering too much because you've got some really nice shapes, textures. Okay, don't try and paint bits of grass. It's just kind of impossible at this stage. I'm just going to add a bit of salt to where I've put that, and here which dries it up, so it gives a lovely kind of texture to it. I want this to dry quite a bit, so what I'm going to do is move on with my little brush, and then my little brush I'm just going to add some of these textures of the snow on this side. So this is cerulean blue, okay, nice kind of warmish, kind of warm blue as it comes down to the front of the road around here like that. So I've got that little gap. I've got some at the back here which is lovely and oops, don't want ultramarine, cerulean blue, which is like that all the way around, which is also in the floor. So I've got that lovely shape, and as you get to here it changes to a lighter blue, so I want more water in that area. What you could do is just add some ultramarine and add some ultramarine to the shadowy bit there, so it makes it slightly darker. You can see like that, and that comes round into this area. I have gone quite small quite quickly with the brush, mainly because I don't want to do too much, but I want to keep that lovely colour. And as it comes around, it's going a little bit darker around this corner, and then it starts going warmer a bit again in that area. We can use some blue up here because you can see the sky as well. That's quite nice. If you do a bit of splattering up there as well, got a really nice texture where the snow is just coming down. There's a nice dark area there actually, where everything's blending, and that goes in front of the in front of that tree. So that's like the top of the hedge Okay, top of that edge. The background here, like I say, I'm going to do all this in one kind of go, but I want it to be in that kind of shape, you see, like that. So if I get my cerulean, I'll start with cerulean, lots of water first, because that's going to be all across the sky. Okay, big brush all across the sky, and it's starting from here, so I'm going all across here, like that. And these stages you can add different tones, yeah. And that's going to be darker than the background, so the sky is going to be nice and light, and then it goes darker. So I want some more ultramarine as it comes down, because they're going darker around here. More ultramarine, thicker pigment, going into these shadowy bits. Don't let it run if possible into the other bits, like that. You can throw salt in. You can always paint over salt, don't worry about it. Okay, throw a bit of salt in, take the blobs out, and we're going to use some alizarin as well. Sorry, I'm in my own shadow today because I can't see. So this is the nice, just tilt my board a bit. This is the nice darker tones that you're seeing at the back of this picture. It's going to come all the way down to we're at the top of the snow. I'm just leaving a little gap over there so you can see, you know, it goes darker in here like that. And as I get to this bit, you can see some of this wax which is coming out now, which is quite nice. We use alizarin, so we mix it on the paper. I can mix it on the in the palette. It's entirely up to you. That negative space there, which is coming down to here, which is not dry yet. It's just about drying. Going darker, and I've also got some lovely kind of warmer blue here as well. Even a bit of snow, and then the darker one, alizarin and ultramarine mixed together, which is going to give me these lovely shadowy bits like that. Use the side of your brush, just stops you being too fussy, okay? Again, just add darker blobs while it's damp, and this will give you textures when it dries, so, you know, don't worry about it too much at the moment. Just let it blend into that lovely wash. Going darker at the bottom. So I'm not using any green today, but you could do at the end if you wanted to get it really, really dark, because that area needs to be quite dark here, because that's where we want the darker tones at the bottom of these shadows, you see. Again, I'm going to put some salt on, let it blend in, keep it soft in places, keep standing back. It's a bit of light on this picture, sorry, because of the spotlight. Take the blobs off because we don't want it running too much. You can darken that later. You can also do this kind of technique just to give you some textures in that tree area, because that's where you're going to get a lot of the darks later. That's this lovely kind of negative shape, which is just there around the fence. That disappears into a lovely darker negative space, which is here. And if you look, it's kind of just there. As you get to this fence, this hedge, the trees on the side of the road, the bushes here, quite dark. So we want that to come round this way like that. Use the side of your brush, you can see, and that gives you that nice dark. Then you can add scratching to it, to give you branches, or you could use the tip of the brush to give you little marks like that, or branches in the background. Thicker pigment, less water, so it's going to run into, and you can put this kind of tree in, put the light on where you've got this. I've left some wax there because that was going to be snow. I've got some snow there. I've got some nice scratchy line there as well. I can use our rigger brush at the end for any very small detail if you need to, but most of it is just these textures, just like that, blending together. So it's more or less the background, if you look, is done, and the foreground is left warm snow. So a lot of it is just this technique of building up the contrast now. So when you look at trees, we don't need to have it all dark. It can have a bit of snow on like that, and then, but they're not brown. Okay, we don't want to make trees brown. We want to be dark. You can add a bit of sienna to that as well. That does make it kind of burnt umber, but again, the front of the tree is going to be nice and light because it's catching some of the background, and then I've got some lovely darks there as well. That goes into there, and then I've got this tree branch which is coming out. I'm going to use some of this to splatter, because there I've got lots of this texture coming down from the hedge, if you like, goes that way as well. We got some more, a bit more of a trunk here. Again, don't have to do it all, just do bits of it. Just do shapes, make it like something in the background. Again, we can put deeper colour in later. Lots of dark ultramarine, especially like here, like I said, where it comes over the side of the, so the snow is hanging over the side of the edge, okay, and it's got this blue cast, so that's quite nice. Again, more textures. Stand back. Yeah. So we want that to slightly disappear, okay. The snow, keep it those clean, and then we've got lots of kind of warm ultramarine colour, cerulean, sorry. So I'm just going to wash over the tops of this road, just to give me some change in tone. I've also got it down the side. So again, here, I'm coming down this side, like that. More water, which is going to go darker here. So we can have more shadows, and this is going to be nice and shadowy. You can also add a little bit of alizarin, because it's getting some kind of reflected lights here from the rest of the snow on the floor. We go that way, yeah, into that area, soften the edges, making it coming forward. That's the main thing now. Again, I've got some lovely ultramarine blue, and because it's quite wet and dark there, it's going to drop that in, so the pathway comes round here. Can you see? We've got that tyre mark, and got a little bit of kind of alizarin colour just about here, like that in the road, just little bits, and we're darker here as well. Just add a bit more shadows over this side, because it's still damp. Yeah, we're still okay to splatter shadows in there. Blue, alizarin, bit of sienna. Okay, and then down here, got these really strong shadowy bits. And a bit of water. Splatter. Okay. Yeah. So this area, like I say, I've got some salt in there, which is helping to make it look like it's actually snow. I'm going a bit darker with some of these branches and trees, because I've got some shapes of them, but then, like I said, we want to make it look kind of authentic in that shadowy bit. And we're going to use, like I said, a rigger to put the darker bits in, and the thinner branches. You can do a few little ones like that in front of it. It's quite wet though, so you're probably getting a shine off the side. It's leaving the top of the snow kind of lovely light area. I'm going to get clean brush again, and then as I'm looking here, I'm going to start putting the slightly darker tone, which is again touch of alizarin, not touch of ultramarine, sorry, into this wash that I've already got on, and then as it comes around the corner there, it goes quite dark on top, and we get this shadow coming out onto the road like that. So squint your eyes. Again, we're coming around here, and then this is going darker again, because we're getting this. It looks like the shape of the tops of the fence posts. You see, like that. Just having these lovely shadowy bits coming out and then going across the picture. So I'll just add this first. That's quite a strong blue. Use a bigger brush. Cerulean blue. There's not much between that and the next, you know, where the road changes, where it changes into the road, I should say. This is coming across the path like that. And that's and we're getting a bit of kind of warm. Use the paper, let the texture of your paper help. Okay, stand back. Yeah. We've got some purples as well, so I want some purple, ultramarine. Again, we can go a little bit darker because the snow is, you know, it's getting reflected lights as well, so just a bit of snow coming down here like that. Make it up a bit. Just some on the floor, the back, where everything's getting pushed up because of the tyre tracks like this. We can add some higgledy-piggledy marks like that to give our tyre tracks a bit more texture. Okay, like this, and again nice strong darks coming down here across the road. Okay, you can let that dry a bit that time. Down over there, just get a little bit of warm colour where the snow, where the tracks are. Yeah, that's drying quite a lot. I've also got quite a few darker tones there with the grasses against that background tone. So we can use the blue and some alizarin. Okay. Especially down near the floor, so that's creating that grassy effect. And then here, just put some snow behind the fence posts, a little bit, so, and then we've got snow near the fence, again, as it comes around here, that's, in front of the fence. Bits of snow, a bit of wax there as well, and then add ultramarine if you need it. Just to bring it forward a bit, because you know so the warm snow is okay, but it's keeping it kind of in the distance. And then use the texture of your paper again to create these lovely shapes in the snow, which are actually quite dark here. The edge, that's the edge of the tyre track. You see? Makes it a little bit darker, that's all. Stand back. Okay. Few darks on the left. Go back into your alizarin, burnt sienna, and a mix of blue, just to give me some strong shapes. Again, coming down from the top of that hedge, like that, and then here, lovely warm colours. And, I'm just using the rough texture of the paper to give me some areas of mottled effects. Okay. Again, blue, alizarin, trees, shapes, tree trunks at the back. Textures. Again, we've got quite a lot here. It's quite nice. A little bit darker. So you've got to be quite dark down the bottom near the edge of the road. Stand back. Right. Fence posts. Let's have a look at those while it's drying. Bit of blue, alizarin. I might use a little bit of green to give me that strong dark. So have a look at some of the posts. I've got these lovely dark shapes like that. Okay. They do disappear, so it doesn't really matter. You do something like this, and then that one is sit in the snow. This one leaning forward a bit. This one again in the opposite way. And this. Tops of the posts nice and dark. Okay. Nice and dark. This one, get some snow on that. one. And maybe too many actually. Put that one in as well. It's got frost on it. Okay. Pick up a bit more warm colour. Again, just splattering around the posts where you're getting these little bits of grass peeping up. And we're going to go darker. That's, you can still go dark there. And here. The background. Now you can see where it's gone lighter, especially in the background here because it's gone quite light, and we want this dark tone. So that's just ultramarine. Okay, you can make that darker as well. Yeah. Going into the path, just at the base. And as it comes around, darker again, stronger dark. And on this side, I've got the same thing. It's very, very fine. Then it goes dark, and then it goes darker still. This gives you the side of the road. So it's a little bit warmer there. Use some kind of alizarin, just not warmer, cooler. But the alizarin gives you that depth as well. Stand back. Yeah, again, they're getting a nice depth to it now. Just want some stronger shadows in your foreground, and it's more or less finished. It's all about the white, you know. Don't get rid of it. Always keep your white. Keep the whites. If in doubt, too much white helps. Yeah. This is very strong. This is very strong. So again, I can emphasize other areas like here. Side of the trunks again. Because you always want different tonal values, because some of these will be in the background and some will be nearer to you. Some will be catching the light, some will be, you know, in the shadows. So you do want these different contrasts, these different tones. Especially where the base of the snow is there. Because you don't want like a tree trunk there as well. We've got the same thing over this side. A little bit darker, the base of the tree. Top of the tree trunk. Things like that. Stand back. Yeah. More shadows on this side. So again, blue and cerulean. So we're coming into the road. This is where we're getting shadows coming across from these. They step up there. Now they step up to, then they go down again. So you're getting these shapes like that. Because they step up to, because of the thickness of the snow. Okay, very thin ones in the distance. Like that. soften them as well. Don't have them too strong in the distance. Keep them nice and soft. Tops of things. More birch sienna, more ultramarine, water. Okay. Lovely big dark shapes, kind of stuff like that. Coming up from so you're getting these the shadows from pores. Squint. Take glasses off. Again, a nice dark tone, side of the road, and that goes into shadows. Right. Keeping the tops of some of these mounds of snow quite dark to bring out the and a bit of salt as well. And we can also warm things up again, so it can go a bit warmer like that. Doesn't have to be on the picture, it's just the warmth on the floor. Yeah. We've got snow on that side which is going to be warm-ish. Okay. Bit of a alizarin with that, I think. I'm just darting the inside. Give it a bit more depth. I'll do the same here. With the big mound of snow lifted up there. Titrax. Bit more splattering. Warmth. Darks. Right. Try and keep some of your textures, don't cover it up if possible. Again, these are quite dark. Come around the corner. So we're going to get that lovely shape around the tree. You see? And keep that lovely light on the front. Again, we've got a nice dark there, so that's alizarin and green, touch of blue, and here we've got this lovely dark. This is going to be the side of a tree that's behind that bush. That's going to bring out the edge, that edge, and down to, got a lot of salt for that. So it's a little bit, using the brush, using the texture of your paper. Alright. Clean your brush. A little bit more blues, just to give you that softer colour. That's quite nice. Just a little bit darker. A bit darker there. It's all about the darks. The dark tones. Squid. Oops, I got to kick my board, kick my easel, sorry. And there you go. That's more or less it. Started at 10 to. A bit early today. That's more or less it. Just letting it dry, really. And then see if you need to do anything else. I always swear by a bit of goulash. You know, you don't have to use it. Just frowned upon by some purist watercolours. You know, so we can have some snow. I did put wax on there, but it needs to be light brown. And the black going to give me that. But I can use this white to give me anything that's I've kind of lost. It's like these little lines in the snow inside the track, and then on top of this I put wax here actually. It is coming out in places. Like that. So we can use this to put this lovely white light back that it may have lost. You might want to just use it like just to add texture into your background trees over there. Buffering techniques. You might want to add some more colour because it's kind of disappearing here. Okay, that's about it. Well done. Anything? I'd better let it dry and then add darker tones if you need to, just to bring it forward a bit. But don't need to. Yeah. Could add some little bits of grass popping out. Maybe soften things edges. Take colour off. Take colour off that way. That's it. Have a go. Just turn it to the camera a bit. Take some tape off. I've got fun. Huh? Don't forget your salt. Snow seeds. Got to do them once a year. Usually when Christmas time. So have a go. Keep them simple. Keep them soft as well. I mean that's a bit too harsh there. Top of the snow. That's it. And that's it. Let's have a look. Yeah, a nice depth to it. Just let that dry, finish it off. Have anything else in it you need? Salt, anything else. Splatter it in with goulash. Might add some stronger darks here actually when it's dry. Okay, thanks for watching and have a go. Yeah, like I said, nice technique. Lots of very pastelish colours. Okay, keep it pastel. Keep it nice and clean as well. Don't get your mucky colours. Okay, yeah, I want some darks in the foreground. Thank you for watching and I'll see you Thursday. I'm away again on Friday, so I can't do one on Friday, but we'll catch up. We'll always catch up. So I'll see you Thursday for class 2 in the afternoon, probably 1 o'clock. That one. See you soon. Bye for now.